Bolotnik's got a few defeats on his record, but most of them came early, and he hasn't had any since he dropped from cruiserweight down to light heavyweight a couple of years ago. He's on a hell of a run. He was largely unknown, really, to UK fight fans when he accepted the invitation for the golden contract, but he's done the business. The win against Ward, and then a display against Hosea Burton, Barry, which I don't think that many people saw coming, to be honest.
No, you know, I think Burton was probably the favourite for the tournament, let's be honest, and you thought that he would give Bolotnik a bit of a boxing lesson. But yeah, Bolotnik was fantastic. He wasn't just, he was aggressive and tenacious, but also, you know, he showed a few little boxing smarts in there as well, and yeah, a rightful winner. And yeah, he's been, as you said, I think he's been a surprise in the tournament so far.
Promoter Lee Eaton for MTK Global, live on Sky Sports in association with Matchroom Boxing and on ESPN Plus in association with Top Rank, proudly presents 10 3-minute rounds for the MTK Global Golden Contract Light Heavyweight Final and the WBO European Light Heavyweight title. Your WBO representative at ringside is Robin Smith. Your 3 scoring judges are Phil Edwards of Preston, Terry O'Connor of Birmingham, and Victor Lachlan of Barhead, Scotland. Your timekeeper at the bell is Peter Humphrey of Doncaster, and your referee is Mr. Michael Alexander, also of Doncaster. They are the officials. We're ready to go, toe-to-toe, so let's meet the boxers. We begin in the red corner, wearing white shorts trimmed with gold. He weighed in at 12 stone, 6 pounds, 10 ounces. From 10 professional contests, his record boasted 11 wins and just 1 defeat. 8 wins coming by way of knockout. He's a former WBC International Light Heavyweight Champion. Originally from Russia, now based in Traunreut, Germany, Sergey Bavarian Sniper Michel. And his opponents across the ring in the blue corner, wearing blue shorts trimmed with white, he weighed in at 12 stone, 6 pounds exactly. From 23 professional contests, his record boasts 17 wins, 1 draw and 5 defeats. 7 wins coming by way of knockout. He's the reigning and defending WBO European Light Heavyweight Champion from Riga, Latvia, Richard Lion Bolotnik. Referee Michael Alexander will now give both boxers their final instructions.
Michael Alexander in charge of this one, and it's a huge night for both of these two. Life-changing reward for the winner of this fight.
9 seconds out, round 1.
So here we go with the final of the golden contract at light heavyweight, scheduled for 10 rounds. Serge Michel in the white and gold, Richard Bolotnik in the blue and white. Described their 2 routes to the final, and they both impressed up until this point. Physically, it's not a great deal of difference between the 2 of them. You'd probably say that Michel is the naturally bigger man. In fact, in his quarter-final against Philbin, after watching that, I did wonder whether he might be carrying a bit too much muscle mass for the weight, and if he was put under pressure, then he might tire in the second half of fights. He did a touch against Philbin. I thought Conroy may well be able to find that out, Barry, but it was such a good performance from Michel that he just never got that far.
Yeah, he was punch perfect, wasn't he, Michel? Really was, and yeah, showed he's not just a good boxer, good technical skills. Carries a bit of power, so you know, he's enough to be. I think there's a lot to like about him. I like him. I think he's nice and relaxed with his style, accurate with his shots.
Just jogging that lead hand up and down down there, Michel, trying to measure the distance at the minute. He's the one who's been more proactive. He hasn't had to commit enormously to anything that he's done, but he's just keeping Bolotnik occupied, keeping him busy. Decent jab there from Michel.
Yeah, it's not a little weight behind it, but it's a snappy jab, isn't it? Just hard to defend against. See, Bolotnik, he's not sitting on the front foot there, Bolotnik. He's leaning on the back foot, which means he's hard to defend against. If Michel throws 3 straight punches, he's going to land with the last 1 or 2 easily.
That's what Michel will want to do. He will want to keep this long, keep it on the outside, because that's where his advantage lies. He is a technically good fighter. And you see him snap out that left followed by the right. That's his stock in trade. Bolotnik has got to get inside that left hand of Michel.
This is what I thought Jose Burt was going to do to him for 10 rounds. Literally, I thought it was just going to be this for 10 rounds. A comfortable, methodical win. He's done nothing, has he, Bolotnik? Literally absolutely nothing. It's been so far easily very comfortable night so far for in the first round here for Michel.
Sure. So, cover your face.
That's the Bolotnik corner. Stood up there giving the advice to Dimitri Shilai, who is also coach to Maris Bridis, who we saw win WBSS cruiserweight in that final against Junior Dorticos. So into the second round, and Serge Michel really did have it all his own way in that opening round. Just popped off some jabs, put a couple of right hands on the back of them, kept it on the outside, kept it at distance. And there wasn't too much that Bolotnik seemed able to do about it. That time he fires back a little bit as Michel looked to be a little bit more expansive and lead off with a left uppercut.
Well, he landed with the right hand as well, didn't he, Michel? I think that's what forced Bolotnik to fire back. That's a lovely jab. It's right through the guard, isn't it? He's making him lean into it as well.
Timed that right hand well over the top of the jab of Bolotnik, who brought it back a touch slow. Maybe it was good work again there from Michel, just tapping with the jab, trying to set up the right hand. Just a little bit closer there with that right hand. He's just stepped in a touch.
See, this is where he volunteers the space here all of a sudden on Michel. This is where Bolotnik needs to jump on him. Just quicken those feet up a little bit.
Decent jab to the midriff there from Bolotnik. Just moved Michel. Falling short with the uppercut there, Michel. Bolotnik trying to let go with the right hand. The second minute of this second round has been better for Bolotnik. He's looked a little bit more aggressive. Good left to the body there from the Latvian.
didn't land there, but at least that's the right idea, just trying to quicken those feet up a little bit. But at the pace he's at now, you can't see how Bolotnik can take advantage of it, any of it. Unless they see Michel walks onto a shot, because this slower pace there, this slower pace is always going to be better for the technically better fighter, more suited. Good right hander there from Bolotnik.
Fired straight back with it. I don't think it landed completely clean, but this has warmed up as the round has gone on. 1-2 there from Bolotnik, mostly on the gloves, but Michel just backed up into the ropes, using those ropes.
Посмотрим, что он там покажет. Стань с ним и поработай. Дай ему ударить и лови его. Но только руки так далеко не отставляй. Понял, да? Чтобы не это сделать так.
Another father-son combination there. That's Edouard Michel on his knees, training his son. And the brother is in there as well, the younger brother Fedor, who's 3-0 at super middleweight. So into round 3. It's the final of the Golden Contract, a light heavyweight. Serge Michel in the white, Ricards Bolotnik in the blue and white. Bolotnik looking to start a bit quicker. In round 3, nice left hook there, and that caught Michel just standing a little bit tall. He felt that one.
I think that's important for Bolotnik. Even if the shots are getting blocked, he was looking in the first round and a half to only throw when he thought there was a clear target to hit. Just let your hands go sometimes. Little right hand there from Michel. And again, good right-left combination.
Good first minute to the round here. Plenty thrown. Right hand there from Bolotnik. He's warming to his task a bit here.
Yes.
Making Michel work harder.
And that's the important part, isn't it? We know Bolotnik's got a really good engine. Or shown that so far he has a good engine, so that makes the technically guy work harder. Technically better guy work harder, I should say.
Bolotnik just stooping, jabbing to the stomach. He's made Michel fall a little bit short with that right hand a couple of times, and he's just wandered in behind it. Bolotnik with a jab off the back of a Michel right hand. Plenty of punches being thrown by both of these two in this round. They're never too far away from each other. They're not having to go looking.
Ooh, not far off with that uppercut either.
Not far at all. Michel just trying to get some authority back with that jab. That's what we saw him do in the first round. Bolotnik didn't offer too much resistance in that opening 3 minutes, just kind of tucked up really.
That's a good jab there from Bolotnik, just dipping the shoulders low and punching up with that left hand. And again, when he dips that shoulder down, that jab gets a better angle of attack. Yeah, building a little bit of momentum here, isn't he?
It's been a good round for him so far into the final 20 seconds. Neat bit of body work there from Bolotnik. Michel's had his say in it as well, of course, but Bolotnik has put him under pressure.
Pentru asta e, du-te aici să veniți distanță. Pentru nu ne ești cu iscut. De nu zici, Black na, you fifteen pойдет. Dan black na, дай space each.
Не открою.
Ты дай другую.
So give me the other one, the red one. Yes.
Corners 10 seconds.
There you go, see a little bit more assertive his work there. Bolotnik now starting to find the range a little bit more. That little dip down with the jab. And he's starting to close the gap, and that was a good round for him.
So into the fourth. Michel looking to try and start the round crisply here and see if he can knock Bolotnik back onto his back foot a touch, get that jab going, get that right hand going. But Bolotnik into the centre of the ring fairly quickly. Michel just turning around him. Sets his feet and throws a good couple of punches to the body there, Bolotnik, but Michel trying to get to work himself. There's some blood coming from the nose there, from the bridge of the nose maybe of Michel, as these two again just launch into each other. There's some heavy punches being thrown there.
And neither one wanted to give ground either. Fast left hook there from Bolotnik. Lovely uppercut there from Michel. Beautiful shot.
Quality bit of work, wasn't it? He looked for it just a couple of seconds before, didn't quite get it, and then the second one went straight up through the guard. Looks for the left of the body there, Michel, as well. I think he realised that in that third round he maybe ceded just to a little bit of momentum to Bolotnik, and he's gone out this round and tried to get it back. Bolotnik, though, again, just looking for that body. He'll throw a good left hand to the body. Michel just shortening up that right hand a bit.
Yeah, good shot one there from Michel, that short right hand. Oh, nice there from Bolotnik, lovely left hook.
Michel, I think, might have been a little bit hurt by one of them, because you saw him really drop those elbows, and he's still got those elbows clamped down just for a few seconds there. But that's some nice work up top. He dropped the elbows and then went up to the head and just buffeting Michel's head around a bit there. Bolotnik's having some real success here. Uppercut up the centre with the right hand and then went to the body. He's got Michel on the run here. Bolotnik, I think, final minute of the round.
A big gulp of air there as well, wasn't it, from Michel? You can see it. See the energy drain out of him.
Bolotnik just needs to try and stay on him here, because Michel is throwing, but these are not desperate punches exactly, but he's trying to keep Bolotnik off him. Bolotnik needs to step right on him as much as he can, because he's got Michel in trouble here, no question.
Oh, great fight back there, though, from Michel.
Really biting down and ditching that right hand over the top, but Bolotnik just clips his chin a couple of times again with the right hand, and Michel trying to lead off with the uppercut. This is a terrific round.
That's fantastic stuff, isn't it? Look at this. He was absolutely spent there, Michel, when he just come back with a burst of energy to put Bolotnik under pressure.
Well, good finish to the round by Michel, and absolute credit to him there, because there was a spell there where he was hurt to the body, he dropped his elbows, and Bolotnik went upstairs and landed some good solid shots, and he had him on the run, and it looked like he could be in real bother, but he got through it.
It must have been that right hook to the body there, because all of a sudden there, those elbows tucked in, and he looked at a big gulp of air, and he was not panicking, but he just stopped working, didn't he, all of a sudden, Michel? It looked like he was in trouble, and he was knackered. You could see it on his face there, no energy to throw any shots. And it was free rein for Bolotnik. He was letting his hands go. Then all of a sudden, then the end of the round, after the horrible flurry of combination, say for Bolotnik, Michel came back with his own little flurry to finish the round. Some great action in that last round.
Really was, and those last couple of rounds, the third and the fourth, particularly the fourth, they're grueling rounds, and early in the fight as well. So into the fifth here, Michel looks to try and start quite quick, doubling up with the left hand, goes to the body, then looks for the uppercut. And again, as he did at the start of the previous round, he's trying to get some snap back on that jab, but he's retreating to the corner here. He's got a problem early in the round. I think he might have been hurt to the body. because all of a sudden he just went for a walk and Bolotnik sniffed it.
I didn't see anything of any note landing, though, did you? Maybe left the clip into the body. I didn't see anything.
I think that must have been it. Just as his back was to us on the ropes on the near side, a left got through there for Bolotnik, and then he just started to slide away, and again the elbows came down and he doubled up a little bit, but back to the ropes on the far side, and there's a good shot from Bolotnik, and Michael Alexander will jump in, saying that the ropes kept him up there, and starts the count. Just over 2 minutes remaining in the round, and Michel again finds himself with his back against his wall here. Nice 1-2 there from Bolotnik. He looks for the uppercut, and Michel has got to try and get through this. He's a long way from the tape in this round, though. Looking to try and fire back off the ropes. Bolotnik with good variety. The uppercut then goes down to the body with the right hand, setting his feet.
Throw some lovely uppercuts as well there, Bolotnik. Just as Michel covers up tight and he's blocking the hooks, he brings those shots right through the middle there, Bolotnik. But it's the body shots out of goals and all the trouble here for Michel. But look how brave he is here. Look, fighting back. You know, he's absolutely spent, isn't he, in many ways?
Strong left hand there from Bolotnik, and Michel's looking for some big bombs here. He knows that he needs to try and put a dent in Bolotnik to turn this around. There was a pretty extravagant right uppercut that didn't get through.
Good right hand though there from Michel, and he's looking to dig into the body.
Michel putting some weight on the right hand and then the left hand to the body. Bolotnik comes forward. Michel again, you can hear the physical effort from him. Every time Bolotnik tries to bear down on him, he's putting everything he's got into it to try and keep him off.
Well, the most unlikely of finals might turn out to be the best one of all.
Well, it's an absolutely terrific fight. These last few rounds have been immense. And Michel, as you say, he's digging in.
Because he's been hurt with body shots, and usually once you've been hurt with the body shots a few times, that's it. For the rest of the fight, every time you get digged there, you know, it's a problem.
Punishing right hand there from Bolotnik, just kind of ricocheted through the guard, and 10-second clapper nearly at halfway, and this has been a very, very tough fight through 5 rounds already. The second half is going to be extremely demanding, particularly for Serge Michel, because he's shown a lot of bravery in these last couple of rounds, Barry, but it's a 10-8. But let's have a look at the start of the round first of all, because he was hurt at the start of the round.
Oh, it's a great shot, yeah, just on the back of the elbow. Just on the back of the elbow, really takes you down there. The knockdown, it was a good shot, good right hand there. I think it just caught him on the spin, to be fair, though, but the ropes kept him up, and the referee's right to call the knockdown. But it was there was 2 really hard wrongs there, it really were. And you tend to see Michel's getting the worst. You know, he's competitive and fighting back. He's the one who's really getting the brunt force of most of this. But showing great grit. And what you'd expect as well from him as well. He's biting on that gum shield, fighting back under pressure. There's still a long way to go.
There's still a hell of a long way to go. 5 rounds, in fact. We're at the halfway stage here. Bolotnik there rising from his stall in the blue and white. Michel in the white and gold. And Bolotnik with a 10-8 in that previous round.
Well, this is where he needs to get it back to, on that jab again, like he did in the first couple of rounds. Yeah, nice, fast, fluid jab. It's coming back nice and fast. A little bouncier steps, you can just take a half a step out as well. And this is where he needs to use all that amateur pedigree, that amateur grounding, that technical stuff that he learned, you know, as a young age, that took him to the Olympics.
Michel just feinting to throw the right hand, just pushing out with a jab, then puts a bit more power on it. Bolotnik just inching forward, stepping forward behind that high guard. He just wants to get in close. That's a good left to the body again there. That's more of a slashing kind of shot across the front of the stomach, but you can see them do some real damage. And this is where he wants Michel, just pinning him back to the ropes.
See, when Bolotnik's nicking your space like he is there, and you're jabbing and stepping back, you've got to either throw an uppercut or a hook, and then you've got to turn off that punch. Because the other is you're going to, what happened to him then? He just got walked into a corner.
Michel just shaking out those arms. Again, just trying to judge the distance with that jab hand. Steps onto the back foot, looks for the uppercut.
Good work.
Throws the right hand over the top.
He missed with that little screw shot, didn't he? With the right hand over the top landed. He's kept it nice and long here, hasn't he? And more importantly, he's kept Bolotnik a little bit quiet for the first time in the last few rounds.
But this is where he doesn't want to be. Left hand to the body there again, and he took that one. But that's exactly the kind of shot that's caused him problems. Back to the ropes, square to the ropes like that. It's exactly where he can't be.
Not throwing the jab is what he cannot do anymore. You see, every time he uses that long jab, he's having effect, he's having success.
Just trying to tuck up there, Michel. You see him drop those elbows. Bolotnik goes up top, lands with a volley. Michel with a good bit of head movement there. That's good defensively from Michel in the neutral corner. Heads almost came together there as he just moved onto the shoulder of Bolotnik. Heavy looking right hand, and then again he looks around the back of the elbow there, Bolotnik. Once more he's backing Michel up into the corner.
Good upper body movement there from Michel, trying to make Bolotnik miss. He's got to fire back himself. And here he comes.
Let his hands go there, Michel, but that was some good defensive work from Bolotnik at the end of the round, just keeping those shoulders on the move, just slipping, sliding, managed to ride those. And again, it's another energy-sapping round, not quite as violent as the previous two, but there was plenty put into it by both of them. Michel did do a better job, as you were saying, Barry, certainly in the first 2 minutes of the round in keeping Bolotnik off, but Bolotnik, when he steps forward and lets his hands go, you've got a problem.
You have, and especially when you've already been hurt, and I don't think he seriously hurt Michel, but those body shots drain your energy, of course, and so he's having to put so much into even just doing the basic jab now. That you can see that first 2 minutes took a lot out of him, and in the last third of the fight, he's literally just looking to survive.
Second out, round 7.
So into the 7th. It's the conclusion of the light heavyweight tournament, the Golden Contract. Started back last December. Expected to see the semi-finals in March, but everything ground to a halt as we were down at the Repton waiting for the draw, so they were postponed. Once we got them on, they didn't waste any time in making the final. Looking for the right hand there, Michel, and Bolotnik came straight back.
He threw a little screw shot there. Michel was a good shot, but didn't move his feet after, and had to take 2 back there from Bolotnik.
Just setting those feet wide in the corner there, Michel.
Blocking all that, wasn't he there, Bolotnik? Good jab though there as well from Bolotnik.
That's where he wants Michel. He stepped in and looked for the right to the body and then tees off to the head. Good jab as well. And Bolotnik again, just with that pressure coming forward, not wasting anything. Michel is in trouble here.
The guard's too loose, isn't he? He puts his hands up, but there's no weight, there's no strength in the arms. He's punching through it there, Bolotnik.
Back to the ropes there, just looking to try and keep him off with that jab, fencing with the jab, then steps into that right hand more, but we haven't seen Michel able to hurt Bolotnik yet in this fight. We've seen Bolotnik hurt Michel on several occasions now.
He just walked him down, didn't he, for the first minute and a half. Bolotnik before he goes to work. But you're right, all the telling punches are coming from Bolotnik. All the weight in the shots he's done. Forward momentum, moving momentum on the punches as well as good shot.
He's moving Michel from one corner to the next, really. That's what's happening. Michel, though, just trying to keep his technique together, trying to keep his shape, his boxing together, looking for those uppercuts, but they're just not really having any effect on Bolotnik. That was a decent right hand from Michel. Bolotnik did ride it to an extent, but it did land. And then the Latvian finishes the round with a nice, strong 1-2. He's putting plenty into these rounds, Michel. It's not like he isn't having some success, but he's just not able to turn this tide at the minute.
Yeah, and you look at his work, which is okay. You know, it's sensible work, but and then you look at the work of Bolotnik, and it's just so much more effective. Even if it's in a lesser time frame, he might be doing the better work for 2 minutes of the round, but the work that he does in the last minute totally outweighs whatever Michel has done. But he's you know, he's tough and gritty, isn't he, Michel? Because you know he's always trying to fire back, even if he's only running on half a tank and there's not much snap or weight behind some of the shots. But he's still looking to fire back enough just to be competitive.
Let's go.
Second round 8.
So into the 8th. 8, 9 and 10 remaining. And the way this has gone so far, there's been a 10-8 round in there as well. Let's not forget where I'm sitting. Michel's got to produce something quite dramatic in these last 3 rounds to turn things around here. He did get off to a good start.
Didn't he just?
Won that first round, probably won that second round as well. But since then, it's been Bolotnik all the way.
Again, oh, love the uppercut there from Michel.
It was a tremendous shot, that from Michel. He stepped in and he caught Bolotnik with it on the way in, but it didn't really get any reaction for him. And that for Michel is depressing. It's demoralising because he could not have caught him any cleaner with that.
Yeah, it was a lovely shot. I know you're right. He even stepped into it, didn't he, to help? But yeah, no effect. But he has much more success and he's much better when he's on the move, using those long shots. All right, he can't hurt Bolotnik like that, but he's not getting hurt himself, he's not getting caught himself. If he can stay mobile, you know, you got to win every round, you would feel, wouldn't he? So you got to stay as mobile as you can.
Midway through the round, and he's done a good job of that in the round so far. Good right hand there from Michel. Nice 1-2.
He's done a good job of keeping Bolotnik quiet again, hasn't he, in this round? But then we're coming to that magical minute mark where Bolotnik goes to work. Yeah, right on cue.
There was a good left hand there from Bolotnik as he was trying to escape to his right there, Michel, and left to the body again, but he soaked that one up okay. But as you say, it's that final minute of the round, and right on cue, as soon as we hit that final minute, he just manages to push him back towards the ropes. Bolotnik on that front foot.
Body shot again there from Bolotnik.
Big left hand there from Bolotnik. That was a solid shot, and Michel felt that one. He's just trying to use his feet, get on his bike and stay out of trouble, I think, for this remaining 20 seconds. And you called this round so far, Barry, absolutely perfectly. Michel done a good job of staying out of trouble in the first 2 minutes, and then in this last minute, he's been backed up and taken a bit of a beating. It's just difficult to see what he can do, really, to change the pattern.
I don't think he got the energy left in his legs, to be honest. I think that body shot took a lot out of him, and he's taken enough shots as well as heavy shots on the head as well, just drained the energy. So he's being competitive. He's having that minute rest. He's recovering enough to have a good start, and Bolotnik is happy to walk him down for half of the round before he goes to work. But when he does go to work, all the quality and the weight are in his shots. And Michel's feet, they slow down so dramatically in that last third of the round that he's almost a sitting duck, isn't he, for some of these shots here from Bolotnik.
It's tough for him. It's really tough for him. But I don't want to dwell too much on what he isn't doing. It's not like he isn't trying in there. And Bolotnik is doing everything right. He's hurt him. As you say, that has depleted the gas tank significantly. And in every round, in every 3-minute fight, in every one of these 10 3-minute fights, because that's what you're looking at in professional boxing, that's what the judges are looking at. He's navigated them very, very well from that third round on. He's been confident that Michel will slow down and he'll get to him in the final third.
And because it's a risky game, giving away 2/3 of the round. It really is a risky game. You're banking on you doing enough quality work or your opponent tiring enough for you to get to be impressive. But you're always better to finish the round the better. That's always, obviously, that's the last thing you see as a judge. And also the quality in his work is what's the big difference.
He's been very accurate. He's obviously got some heavy hands. Good left hand there. Just caught Michel with his weight on his heels a bit square, and it snapped the head up. Didn't really hurt him that time, but again, it's a good eye-catching punch. Easy for the judges to see.
And Bolotnik is quite cruel with us, but some of the stuff he does is really neat. Like when he throws that right uppercut and whips on the left side to the body, that's a fantastic combination. What's wrong with that technique?
Well, he had a tough start too to his career. He was 4-3-1 after his first 8 fights at light heavyweight. But he persevered, went up to cruiser, came back down to light heavyweight, settled at 175, and he's on a roll. It all started with that win against Sergey Ekimov, an 18-0 fighter away from home. Slightly strange looking right hand there from Michel, just swinging it down like a meat cleaver almost, didn't manage to make contact.
Plenty of mobile here, Michel, but he hasn't done enough work in the round really to skip away and wanted enough to win it, to be honest. Oh,
Big
shot.
right hand there from Bolotnik. You see the sweat spray off the head, left to the body, has hurt him as well. Michael Alexander just wheeling around to have a good look, and Michel is trying to grab hold on the inside there, as he absolutely has to, but he was nailed by a straight right, and then a left hand to the body, and you saw him just wilt into that corner post. He's done well to stay on his feet there. Serge Michel, he has, because you could see how much that hurt him. Final 30 seconds of the round, and Bolotnik's not going to go crazy. He's just going to do what he's done so far, which is be spiteful and accurate.
And he doesn't want to get too close, Bolotnik. He got too close in that first little exchange, and then that Michel has to hold on and survive, obviously, survive the round now. That will be the case, but doesn't need to get too close when he hurt him with a big shot. Keep that distance, keep those big long shots coming in.
Look at him there at the end of the round. He's literally just walking Michel down with that guard held high in front of his head, because he knows that there's not really that much left here from Serge Michel, who's put everything into this to keep his man at bay. But Bolotnik, well, I said accurate and spiteful, and that's what it's been. It really has.
He is, and he did more work throughout the round there. That's lovely there. He missed with the right uppercut, but then all of a sudden turned it over the top as Michel was moving on to it as well, which was a horrible result from Michel, but lovely work, clever work there from Bolotnik. There you go, look at that, it's lovely work. And a good, that body shot took it right out there of Michel. The rope's almost keeping him up. And then see, he just got too close. Just enough for Michel to hold on for dear life and get that rest that he needed to see him into this last round.
So 10th and final round, Ricards Bolotnik there in the blue and white is in complete control here. Serge Michel in the white and gold. He needs a knockout. There's no two ways about that. Heavy 1-2 again there from Bolotnik.
deceivingly good, isn't he, Bolotnik? I think you might have said that to me the other day. He is deceivingly good. He sort of looks crude, but then some of the work he does is actually clever and technique-wise, nice and neat.
He's compact, he doesn't really waste anything. He's got that tight guard. He hasn't got a particularly long body to protect, which is always a bit of a bonus. And he cuts the ring off well, because Michel has got pretty good feet, but when he's looked to track him down, he's managed to do it.
One thing Michel's shown, he's made lots of mistakes a little bit, but grit, to be fair, because he was hurt early, and he was hurt at the midway stage where it didn't look good for him, and he dug in and he's tried to fire back, and he tried to win these rounds, even though he, for the most part, hasn't been able to. But yeah, he showed plenty of grit and determination.
Bolotnik at the start of this competition would have been the rank outsider. People were talking about Isaiah Burton, they were talking about Bob Adjisaf, and Burton saying when he and Adjisaf boxed in the quarterfinals that was the final come early. And people were agreeing.
Yes. But looking at it now, stylistically, there couldn't have been a better final. It's been a really good watch.
It has. It's been terrific to watch, and again, Bolotnik there just lets those gloves drop a little bit and then just walks Michel down left to the body again. And Michel, well, he knows that he needs to try and knock him out to win, but it looks like really he's just trying to get through here. Right to the side of the head, and Michel was sitting on the bottom rope there. The referee could have called a knockdown there. I thought for a second that he had, because he was sitting on the bottom rope there, Michel.
Got to be careful now. Michel's absolutely shattered. You just see him hold on to the rope there.
He's just trying to get through, as I said there, just before that most recent attack. He's trying to get through and hear the final bell. That's what he wants for his own pride. He can't win this fight. He needs the knockout. He's not going to get it. And again, he's just trying to keep that upper body on the move. Bolotnik, though, just raiding in the blows, and down he goes. Down he goes into the neutral corner. He's got absolutely nothing left, and his dad's on the apron with the towel in his hand, and he's going to attract the referee's attention and stop this fight. He's going to stop this fight. Michael Alexander hasn't seen him. But the dad there, Edouard, is up on the apron with the towel in his hand, and he stopped it. 15 seconds short of the tape, but it's the right thing to do.
It's 15 seconds, and I'm gutted he didn't see the bell. But he was. I said you got to watch this now about 20 seconds ago, because he was shattered, and that's where the problem. That's where you can get some really bad things happen. His dad was spot on. 20 seconds, 2 minutes, 2 seconds. If you're done, you're done. That was a good call by this corner. It really was. And what a result for Bolotnik.
What a performance. Serge Michel made a good start. He boxed nicely in the opening round. And Bolotnik was having a look. Did very, very little. The second round, Michel probably took that one as well. And then in the third, he started to get to him. He hurt him. And from that point onwards, really, he hurt him every round from that point on, didn't he? And fair play to Michel for hanging in there. But Bolotnik, he's an economical, accurate, spiteful wrecking machine.
When you watch him, you just think, you look at him and you go, he just walks you down and beats you up. That would be the summary of Bolotnik, wouldn't it? He walks you down and beats you up. That's all you'd have to say. But when you actually see him, there's a bit more thought to his work. There's some of his technique in close is pretty good. You see here now, accuracy in his work. And he's got him on the rails here. It's the last round. Now look at the shot selection, and he's looking for the gaps. He's picking his punches. Good work. It was good work from him. Now that uppercut there took all the energy there out of Michel. It was that uppercut that did it. The rest of it was just pain on the way down. He was done. You can see the way he stumps over there. He's not seriously hurt. He's absolutely exhausted. And the corner's right. It don't matter how long's left in the round. It's a shame for him, and we would like to see him see the final bell. He deserved to, out of grit, determination alone. But it's not worth what could have happened. I think that's a great stoppage by the corner, and a great result by Bolotnik. What a fight that was! Fantastic.